Morning, fellow zombies. Are we alive yet? Are we awake yet? It's 4:19 for a Saturday morning, 22nd of June, 2024. Your zombie weaver, John C. of Roseman, California, barely alive, barely awake. I'm wondering why in God's name is he still up? Yeah. Politics happening galore. We have religion getting into politics worse off than ever. We have politicians and pseudo politicians and wannabes who want one particular viewpoint of the earth, of the world, and they think it should be that. And they have no clue, despite the fact they get taught something else. Oh, yeah, we get taught about this, we get taught about that, but then what? We're still not demonstrating it. We're still not demonstrating it. We can allow biblical information to be posted in public schools. And we are taking away separation of church and state in his Constitution. Because people allow it. They don't belly up to the bar, they want it. They make the choice. Screw the Constitution and everything else it meant. Because they're going to make and recreate another Constitution. And only this time they want a Sharia law. One religious viewpoint. Plagiarism, actually, pluralism tossed out. Democracy, screw it. We just turned into Iran. We want our guns. We love our guns so much. The NRA is having a field day over the damn uh, rulings concerning about the bomb stocks. Political people are having a conniption fits because climates are changing. People are maneuvering in position, and now uncertainty all around. An upcoming debate next week on a network. It's going to be either demonstrating or no, actually demonstrations. No studio audience to freak out and have conniption fits. Or maybe outside they probably will have it, but nobody allowed inside. Just to show off two old geezers, we're going to call them that, trying to demonstrate which one of them is fit, mentally and physically, or basically morally fit, to run a country for another 4 years. And then after that, the limitation runs out, and then the person's out. Unless within that 4 years, the Constitution is rewritten and changed all over again. Mutated, mutilated. Why not? We got Supreme Court cases backing things up like that, aren't we? Taking away people's rights one way or another. Control over a body, control over mind. Potentially control over where you sleep, where you live, where you eat. Homeless being considered illegal as hell. They haven't come out with a ruling yet, but they will this coming week. It changes our perspective around, doesn't it? I go around accusing this one guy who's posting this stuff out. Seems like he's doing he's trying to have a conversation, but apparently he's terrifying people left and right without giving context. Just terrify people without even realizing it. Yeah, and ain't that nice of the dude? Not to me though. Yeah, there are certain things out there I worry about. Just how screwed up we are going to be in our country right now. Just how hard is it going to be to deal with this that we got going on right now? And I can't tell you. I don't have an eye for it. I don't have a vision of it. I'm only struggling with day by day as I know it, as I understand it, with my own issues. The world keeps turning and changing, and yet some of the things that matter most to us hurts like hell. In one instance, for 1 minute, I'm grateful that I still have a family pet, and yet someone else who had been out there with a family pet has the pet no more. And it hurts like hell. I know it too damn well. But show goes on, life goes on. We have to smile and not contain the pain, because we show the pain. We show how human we are. We show how vulnerable we are. Not a fun-loving, laughing guy who's trying to entertain folks and trying to show how to feed them. By the way, how to cook things. Of ancient times. But it's hard as hell to keep a straight face when all you want to do is just break down. I know the feeling too damn well. A country that is so tied to us politically that we made a pact that we are indirectly becoming the monsters as they are and responding to a monstrous act from somebody else. And how we're supposed to look at ourselves in the mirror as being our greatest country on the earth when we become that which we hate to see. There was quotes in different movies left and right. One of which is, you live long enough to see yourself as a villain. I guess we just saw ourselves that way. But didn't even bother to see it. Of course, with our national pride, ego, megalomania, we become just like the empires of old. Don't even realize it, but we're getting there. We're getting there. And now we got to force viewpoints upon people left and right. We're supposed to be a free country, but we don't show it. We don't show it. Because we have to indoctrinate. We have to do it out of fear, out of ignorance, out of stupidity. Because we want the country in our own weird-ass way. And tearing ourselves apart in the process. We can't accept differences. We have to accept the uniqueness. We have to accept, as I said before in a few of my videos, I compared us to Neapolitan ice cream when we are pluralistic. But if we are singular, it's either stuck with strawberry or chocolate or vanilla. Take a pick on that one. Because now we're being divisive and deriding against each other. And we blame the others for our own choices and reactions and mistakes that we make. We blame them, but we don't blame ourselves. Said before, we don't do the accountability, transparency, or responsibility. No, we blame the other guy. Because that's how it works. We're blameless, but we're going to do the school bully yard on people. As I said before, we turned ourselves into an evil empire. But now we got people screaming and yelling about that one, aren't they? Because of this particular administration. The last administration, we didn't have it. Last administration, they were too damn blind to it because they already showed it. They're showing more of it. And now, they're fighting like hell, trying to change things left and right so they can be the bullies on top. Economically, and physically, morally, if there is such a thing. So basically, we're out there trying to change our universe, change our world. And one of these here days, we're going to have, if we haven't had it already, an understanding that whatever we're doing is going to have a boomerang effect, knocking us. We're going to have a reckoning one way or another by who and what we are. And who and what we are. I mean, who are we? What are we? We're We can't get up our dead asses long enough or fast enough to figure that one out. We can go out and spin our wheels and scare the hell out of people left and right. Leave our burnt out trails on grounds and think we know better. Burning rubbers and destroying our cars in the process, not to mention curtailing our freedom one way or another. Of course, if we want our freedom, we're going to be burying ourselves with guns and stuff. We want more guns to protect ourselves so we can point them at each other and hope the other guy doesn't fire before we do. But if we do, we have to make sure we are righteous and moral indignation of firing the weapon at another one. It turns out, does the law support that one or not? But was it recently put in? Or is it an ancient law that we get to tear ourselves apart? We can't get pregnancy drugs or abortion drugs or even stopping pregnancy before it happens. Because we might tick off other people who have different ideas and ideologies. But we're more than willing to screw people over one way or another, even in our pursuit of our own pleasure, our own lifestyle. We'll sit on high court cases, make the judgments, and yet we want more privileges because we are thinking we're on a power grab here. And everybody should pay me because I am not court and I make the decisions for the country. I am moralistic. I keep forgetting that absolute power corrupts absolutely. But they don't care. They want the perks. Who cares if we do the damage? We want the perks. We're going to rob you, cheat you, steal you, lie to your face, tell you that you're worthless, but I want all the perks. So we're going to post up laws in schools. We're going to post these biblical stuff out there. And then have a fight with everybody else who wants their own version up there, because if the floodgates are already opened, they can't stop it now, can they? So things must change and mutate. For the better or for the worst. And yet the people will complain about it on social media, but they don't go out in the streets. They can't go out in the streets. They're going to get flooded out. They're going to get rained out. They're going to get roasted. They're going to drop like flies. We've got temperatures rising so badly that we're going to have people dying. But imagine being in another country that you're following your religious aspects and you're dying by the numbers. You got a climate changing on you so badly that they can't keep up with the adaptations of it. And they refuse to. We keep trying to educate people about this. We keep telling people about this stuff. We want them to understand, but no, they don't want to understand. They just want to deal with what they got, and they don't care. They don't care. They don't care what happens. Why should they? If they actually cared one iota a long time ago, that would have made differences. But these days, nope. Now they're scrambling, blaming each other more and more, harder and harder, for their own stupidity. A collective and individual stupidity. Try protesting stuff in the campuses, and then you get the the results on that one. You get the consequences on that. Layoffs of people left and right. You got campuses stormed like crazy and then sued by professors in different campuses. Try that one. You lose people that you like or classes that you need in your coursework, but it's no longer the coursework because they think it's illegal. It's part of wokeism, whatever the bullshit is. But it's wokeism. It's not politically aligned. It's not politically correct. It's not kosher. But it is something out there that they scream and yell at people because they can do that. And they will say it. And they'll scream in your face because they will. It's not right. It's not their way. Revolutions start up with musings like this. They start up by angry people. They start up by angry people who don't like the things going the way they want. So they gotta force the situation down people's, have to force people into it. With a force of personality, yelling and screaming, or just intensely looking, or whatever kind of characteristics. They'll stare at a computer screen or they'll stare at a camera long enough, or go to your areas and start being a belligerent, yelling and screaming, trying to get people's attention, trying to get people's ire, trying to get their thoughts realigned. It gets harder and harder to deal with that one, doesn't it? Because now we're getting into fanaticism. Now we have to follow someone else's drumbeat because of their own damn insecurities. They want a group of people around them to do the bidding, to change things for them that they cannot change for themselves. Is it righteous? Or for the idiots who think it, yeah, it is. But for the other people getting afflicted by it, nope. We see fanaticism, so we go crazy on the damn thing. We do. We can't deal with ourselves decently enough. We don't know what decency is anymore these days. We lost track of it. We thought we had the old-fashioned values. We're trying to get back to the old-fashioned values and the way things are thinking. But then again, we were only kids back then. Or were we? Kid thinking? Or were we living as kids with the kid thinking? We lost track of a lot of things. We're supposed to think. We're supposed to feel. We're supposed to... What were we supposed to do again? What were we supposed to be? Who were we supposed to be? What were we doing? What we were supposed to be doing? We don't know. We lost track of everything. Blame the other guy. Blame the other guy for your own literal misery at this point over here. It doesn't matter. That's what the world does these days. Blame. We already see the consequences of our own inactions. We're struggling or crazy trying to see what we can do for it. And we're screwing ourselves over one way or another. We're trying to race through a rock floating around in us as slowly but surely throughout the millions of years, of almost not billions, floating away from us. It gets captured by the Earth's gravity. Now it's incrementally drifting further and further apart until maybe in a lifetime or two we'll lose it. And then everything else go hell in a handbasket with our weather. In our lifestyle, geologically, maybe the Earth gets destroyed. Who knows? And that's something to worry about. No. We got to worry about radiation bathing. We got to worry about cosmic rays frying our asses off. We got to worry about ultraviolet shields that we had. Well, guess what? They're going out. Slowly but surely. We're killing it one way or another with our lack of environmental laws. We also have volcanism happening, completely out of our control. And yet we can't even adapt to it fast enough. We have signs of our Earth still changing, still trying to rearrange its crust, its physical structures left and right. Scaring the hell out of people on one particular island left and right. Almost going to be burying them with lava and rock from the Earth. How about a state that actually had a blast back in 1980 and earlier than that, but now we're going to have to have it again. People worry about supervolcanoes. Oh, that's even better. Long dormant volcanoes for thousands or maybe a million years, showing more signs trying to liven things up and scare the crap out of people. Conspiracies going nuts at this point. Speaking of conspiracies, they think the Earth is still flat. If the Earth is so damn flat, how come the universe still has balls out there? Balls of rock, rounded, rounded, weathered, with or without atmosphere. And why the suns are still shining as a ball of gas. And why our orbits are going around this large ball. And yet when we point cameras towards it, we keep thinking of special effects and we don't believe in anything. Let alone if we actually did land people on the moon. We keep thinking special effects and computer graphics when we know better. The technology wasn't up to speed during those days. But politics was. Politics is what drove a flag to be flown on the moon a few times. Now we got to have more flags on the moon, with more people trying to secure a hold on it. Give them about a 50 or 100 years, maybe they will with a colony on there. Not in my lifetime. No, but I'm already seeing pieces of metal flying around on the Earth. Around the Earth. Too many pieces of metal. Too much junk. You don't know whether or not you're looking at a meteor or you're looking at a satellite drifting by. Changes things left and right, I'll tell you that much. But we have to dig deep in people's personalities and personal conflicts and things happening. We have to look at each other and say, oh, look at this, look at that, look at this, look at that. Didn't this person do this? Didn't this person do that? Ooh. I'm hearing about this stuff and I'm thinking, you guys are full of shit. Mouthing off with their own vitriol one way or another, telling people about their own viewpoints because they want people to share it. Did you really think we're like Gollum from the Lord of the Rings? We have to follow the One Ring, or someone else's version of the One Ring. So we have to have people insulting each other just because the other guy wants to feel good because he already had a bad childhood a long time ago. You don't get to be a bully without having a bullied nature, without being bullied yourself. Spread the spread the viral infection. That's no cure for it, except recognize it, understand it, learn how to forgive, and get compassion for the other schmuck, and just deal with your own damn life without the hatred and vitriol. Oh no, we can't do that. We have to spread our own vitriol over everyone else because that's how it is. That's how we accept it. And therefore they'll accept it because that's how it is. It's no wonder when Billy Joel sang the song, We Didn't Start the Fire. Nobody got it during that time. Nobody. If they did, would the generations right now understood it? Understood the message? Or teenagers. And now they're just fiddle farting around as theoretical adults. They're going to attack people left and right because their own damn insecurities are driving them crazy. Oh yeah, wonderful planet we live on. Wonderful times. Trying to get rid of one particular law called the Comstock Law of 1873. This is a Stackham and Packham law that originally tried to stop some stuff happening back in 1873. And now upgraded, updated, changed, mutated, mutilated, and we don't even know what the hell the damn thing is anymore. But it will allow more harm to people, so we got to get rid of the old law. Because back then we thought it was needed with different values that we were looking at through and trying to talk about our own personal values changed back then. But we have about generations upgraded, mutilated, mutated, changed in thought patterns, behavior patterns, and God knows what else. Okay, time to scrap the old laws, put in new laws. And that's how it works, isn't it? Want to get personal about it? Try having a conversation about someone else posting it on social media, making it live, and then having the fallback on this one greatly. Now they're talking about the fallback in the instance and how civil rights are getting violated one way or another, or actually both ways. So now we got to make it more apparent. Oh yeah, that's the thing. Watching left and right. It's bad enough we got fires happening all over the place. And I was talking about global warming, fires, floods, high winds, hurricanes, and yet politics are saying that no, nobody's entitled to relief, and neither is the insurance companies who are bugging out left and right because their bottom lines are dropping out. How's that grab you? But no, some people will watch other shows and just veg out on things. Talk about a Time Lord in a different alternate dimension that we've written up back in the 60s on this one. Mutated this thing into, I don't know, older than I am, about 70-year-old, more than that, of tradition watching this guy change different characters, actors, portraying them left and right. Well, we get hooked on them. But then we start putting in our own personal politics into the damn thing and saying, these guys are changing, we don't like it because of wokeism. How's that grab you? No, it's bad enough when you actually see a state legislator in Louisiana wants things changed because they want the world, actually they want their state to change to be more moral, and yet they're amoral. So we'll try to tell them that it's against the U.S. Constitution for putting up biblical expressions on a wall in the public schools, but they think it's okay, and they're going to fight tooth and nail for it. Pops up every so often, doesn't it? It still gets thrown down until what gets to me is when you have a preacher out there from a mega church tries to show how holy he is, tries to explain and exclaim he's holier than everybody else, and yet allegations pop up. Forces his resignation because there were certain truths that happened that he couldn't face. Said before, accountability, responsibility, transparency. And he gets that, and he gets his ass kicked on it. But then again, he's supposed to be moral. All these things I'm running into these days. And it's scary. It's scary how things are mutating faster than what we can deal with. But we're supposed to be going with the flow. People dealing with conspiracy theories about how our government was and wasn't. How events happened on certain dates that happened and it wasn't. Or did happen a different way that we don't want to accept. That's our life of us, aren't they? So yeah, over the past couple of weeks, I've been going over some of the stuff I've been watching and trying to pay attention on regular news, on independent news, on the postings on YouTube regarding this. Try this one. A guy who goes across the street, a kid who takes automatic weapons, goes across the state borders. Was it automatic or semi? Doesn't matter. He's going after blood. Shoots people, chats with the cops, then leaves back to his state. Goes through a trial, and they can't convict the bastard. The victims know who he is. The survivors know who he is. And yet he comes across as, well, I'm doing it for self-defense. And yet this kid doesn't even bother to take care of his family who's trying to struggle to pay for rent. And he's going all over the country spewing his bullshit, his mental illness. Yeah, how's that grab you? How's that for family values? That's like if I did something wrong with my family while they were living. I did something stupid, and I go across the country talking about how great I am and the beliefs I have, and yet I would put my family in danger. And I'm supposed to feel sorry for the shooter? I don't. I'm supposed to have compassion for him? As a human being, maybe. But you mistreat family like this, and you're a rotten piece of shit. I'm a judgmental bastard on that one. I try to hold family sacred, and even though I may have been imperfect, I know I've been imperfect with my own family. I know I have. I've had arguments with my brother. I've had arguments with my mother. Both are dead. Both I had been caregiver for. Both I missed like hell. And I don't blame. We simply had to deal because that's what family members are supposed to do, at least in my family. And we did. But how do we square it with everybody else? That's a different story, ain't it? So how's this for a cheerful thought for a Saturday morning? I guess for me right now, I'm going back to bed so I can be Rip Van Winkle for a few hours more and hope and pray that in a few more hours I am not going to be facing a future that's going to scare the crap out of me. Not just yet, anyway.